This Nostradamus prediction is bonkers. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever noticed how every year, just as we're wrapping up, someone, somewhere claims that the world is about to fall apart? Well, 2025 is no exception. Enter Nostradamus. Yes, the 16th century French astrologer, physician, and reputed seer. He said some pretty insane things, apparently about the end of 2025. Now, before I share this prediction, I want you to know that I myself am very skeptical. Here we go. Nostradamus' words, some would say, are very scary. He said, Mars rules the stars. Human blood sprinkles the sanctuary. These fires rise from the east, and the west loses its light in silence. Now, if that sounds dramatic, that's because it is. Modern interpreters are linking it to global conflicts. Ukraine, Taiwan, NATO tensions with Russia, you name it. And there's even talk of a cosmic fireball, which some say could be an asteroid or a UFO. Three-Eye Atlas, as you know. And even Christians, I don't know this for fact, but I'd imagine Christians are probably reading about the blood sprinkled thinking, does this indicate about the third temple? And a certain red-coloured cow that everyone's thinking about right now that's happening over there in Israel. Well, here's the thing. Nostradamus wrote his predictions in a cryptic, allegorical style. They're intentionally vague. So anytime something bad happens, people say, see, he predicted it. Because people can point to him predicting that really wicked man who came into the world 90 years ago in Germany. He predicted the French Revolution, apparently, JFK. They all look at it and say, this man has predicted it. But the problem with all of these predictions is they're flexible. It's like reading tea leaves, except the leaves are 500-year-old poems. But people listen to what he says because even in 2025, people claim that some of his things have lined up. Like we've had depleted resources in zones of conflict. There's been disasters in places like Brazil. Guys, I know some of you disagree with me and you think I'm just being skeptical for the sake of it, but I do think we've got to be careful because we're relying on cryptic, mystical sources to predict the future. This isn't just risky, it could open you up to even darker spiritual influences. The Bible does tell us that we've got to be careful about seeking out forbidden knowledge. And as tempting as it is to peek into the future through Nostradamus, through crystal balls or any kind of psychic medium, only God knows what is coming. I shared this in my last video, but just in case you missed it, I was at a church a few weeks ago and a man shared this illustration with me. I thought it was brilliant. This brother said, imagine if there was a stock or an investment that had 100% accuracy guaranteed. Every time you invested in this stock, you would get a return, 100% return. When you put everything into that, well, believe it or not, the prophecies in the Bible have worked exactly like that. Every warning, every promise, everything has been proven true across the centuries, and even Christ's coming and the salvation he offers. It's not guesswork, it's revealed and it's reliable. So here's the takeaway. Don't get sucked into chasing the predictions from Nostradamus, Wenger, or anyone else claiming to have secret knowledge of the future. That path is slippery and it's spiritually wrong and ultimately it's very uncertain. Instead, anchor yourself in the Word of God. Study it, trust it, and let it guide you. Because unlike those writings of this 16th century seer, the Bible's promises never fail. Alright, but there is something even more important than guessing what might happen in the future, and it's this: knowing God and knowing His plan. The Bible tells us that God's standards are perfect, and that if we live apart from Him, that isn't a good path for anyone to follow. Here's the good news. God didn't just leave us without a way forward. He sent Jesus to restore our relationship with Him, so that we could be reconciled with God through Jesus Christ. If we trust in Him, any of us can experience His forgiveness and His life-anchored hope. As the hymn goes, there is nothing better than being able to say, what a friend we have in Jesus. And I wonder, have you found that friend, the friend of sinners, who stretched out his arms on a cross and died there in your place so that the gates of heaven can be flung wide open to anyone who'll trust in Him and say, I put my faith in that man who died for me all those years at that cross because I know my sins have been pinned to that cross. They're gone forever and they're buried at the bottom of the ocean. Hey, big thank you to our channel members, big thank you to everyone who supports this ministry through our website, and a big thank you to everyone who prays, subscribes and comments. All of this is so helpful, and because you support my ministry, ministry. You enable me to be able to run these videos ad-free and still be able to pay the costs of editors and all the other ministry things. Very, very thankful for it. Now, I will just ask you one more time, did you see my last video on the ancient Hopi prophecy? Well, if you haven't, they predicted a man in a red hat. Now, I know it sounds bonkers, but if it has caught your attention in any way, I think you should probably click here to find out why.